Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hecht Creative. Today we're going over some inevitable action figures, 3 different versions of Thanos from Marvel Legends. Now let's get to it. Build a figure Thanos' face is really rough. The paint is just so bad on this. Why? I don't know why it's so bad. A lot of places are overshot or undershot, like the teeth and the crown, and man, the chin does not look good at all. The eyes are really off center, and I find those earmuff things to be a disgrace. What happened, Hasbro? The head otherwise looks pretty good with this stripe over here. Even this is mismatched though. Woof, what a rough head. And articulation is old school and pretty good. Back pretty far, forward pretty far, swivel over here. A little bit of pivot, but woof, what a looker. Or not. This shoulder pauldron thing can easily come off. It's really flimsy and doesn't work that much at all, but looks nice from all angles all the way around. And the main body has gotten loosey-goosey and floppy-woppy over the years. It's sad. I do like the belt though. It looks really nice. And this spine thing is really nicely molded. And this is painted pretty well too on the front. The articulation can go back a click, forward a click, and that's kind of it. It just sort of rests and shifts a little bit on its own. The arm has subtle moldings showing that it is some kind of sleeve and not the actual bicep arm of the figure. The gauntlet looks nice, as well as this fist over here. The other side is mirrored. Also, we have this open hand that looks really good. I love how this looks. It's very nice. And the articulation's fair with this piece, at least, going up really far and down all the way around. You do get a swivel over here as well, with a single jointed elbow going up this far and down, with a swivel wrist and then up and down, but the gauntlet does hinder it. And the silver and blue on the legs really clash nicely. I also like the gold over here with this yellow on the center, and we also have the boots that have little yellow things on the sides. And just going all the way around, I do appreciate how this looks, except for this. This is really stupid. I don't like that, but it is nice on the legs. The articulation is pretty fair on these. Going out, this is it. This is all you get for this. Going out and up, not really that far, and back, not really that far either. Going all the way back it's just okay. The swivel up here breaks the sculpt with this thing, lining it up, and the swivel over here fits nicely as well, working out pretty good. And for the boot, you get down and up, and then a really wacky, awesome pivot with peg holes and treads at the bottom of the feet. Nice touch. While I do appreciate this Thanos, there is a way better Thanos around the corner. Ugh, that head. Ugh. This is the single release Thanos from Walmart. I really had to work hard to track this figure down, but man, was it worth it. What a fantastic paint on this head. I do think the teeth aren't that great though. They're not filled all the way to the edges, but the eyes and crown are what I really wanted. They are spectacular. And the articulation is the same, not only on the head, but for the rest of this figure. Paint is different and everything is basically different. Much better though in every possible way. Some silver on the sides going down to completely gold boots, as well as more silver over here and a little bit of yellow over there. It's so nicely improved up here too on that yellow. And this doesn't really come off that badly compared to the other one. It's so much nicer. This could be more gold though, and this looks great as well too. And as much as I love the smiling Thanos, this stoic Thanos head sculpt is really awesome. I love how this looks. I mean, the shading is great on that face. I actually think it's better painted than the previous Thanos head. And articulation is similar, but I think a little better than the previous one. You get all the bells and whistles, and it just is great. The smiling head does really work well with this complete Infinity Gauntlet. I love how this looks. The gold really shines brighter than the rest of the figure, and that's an achievement. Also, these stones are excellently painted. Very well done on this. I love how the glove is kind of metal, and then the gauntlet portion down here is a little more fabric. It's really interesting. And it does swivel around for articulation, looking really nice on the palm, and then up and down over here, but just watch out for this green gem over there. It's a bummer though how he doesn't really come with a snapping hand, but I'm pretty good with this anyways. And both Thanoses stand at about 7¼ inches tall or so. Here are both Thanoses next to Captain America and Iron Man, next to Thor and the Hulk, and next to Adam Warlock and the Silver Surfer. Reviewing this next figure will be a snap right after this. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. For a figure I really love, it's a shame that the one gripe is the first part I talk about it, the face. I really love this head sculpt, but they really should have taken a page from the previous Thanos. The chomping, big, talking maw isn't as good as a smile or a frown for Thanos. But sculpting aside, the paint is done really well. I like how subtle it is, a little bit of wash here and there, even if the teeth are kind of double painted on the top a bit. The eyes are painted nicely too, and I really like how the crown is done here along with those little ear muff things, and all the way around, it's a nice head sculpt for Thanos. It's just a shame the actual sculpt part wasn't that great, and his head can go back and forth and left and right pretty well for this figure. It's a good head sculpt with better paint than sculpt. The body is like the previous Thanos's, but much better, much beefier, way huger, and way nicer. I love the color scheme on this, and the wash is really great. This portion up here looks nice. There's a couple of weird marbling portions up there. I like the straps underneath too. They look awesome as well. Really nice. The gold coming down to the skirt piece is excellent. There is a little bit of overspray over here. I do think it looks nice, and the back is a little bit empty without the spine thing from the previous Thanos's. Bummer. Seeing as this is more of a classic Thanos, you get more of a classic look. Gone are the mechanical portions and replaced by pure muscle over here. It's nice. The gloves are done really well. No longer metal, but sort of cloth, gold cloth at least, with a lot of marbling too. I do think these fists look really nice though. And the articulation is really good too. Back and forward with a swivel over here as well, going up and down and all the way around over here. With a swivel at the bicep, not overly over here, but in the middle too. It's kind of weird, at least going up this far for the elbow, with a swivel and a hinge at the wrist, and the same for the other arm. Nice body sculpt on this. I would love to see more re-releases with different heads. And the legs are basically Thanos's. Big, chunky, huge. Nice wash over here too. All the way around, pretty good. A little bit dark over here, but it looks great with the gold boots. I love all the wrinkles down here and the sculpting up here. This is where the better sculpt is. That's it, the feet and the legs. And he also has kind of a weird ribbed codpiece. I'm just going to mention that. It's kind of strange. And the articulation is going out pretty okay, and in and up pretty alright, and back. All the way back works out very nicely for this figure, with a swivel up here and no swivel down there, sadly. With his foot hinging down and then up really far, with a nice pivot as well, and two peg holes at the bottom of his marbled feet. This is 90% the best Thanos I've ever seen. I love this figure a lot, and I hope he gets a release with a better head. That'd be amazing, Hasbro. This head is weird, guys. And sad to say, the other head isn't a stoic expression, but this King Thanos head. He has a long, scraggly beard that looks really good, actually, with this paint over here. Very nice. And the paint in the sculpt on the actual face is really awesome. I just wish it was a different, younger Thanos than this older King one. And the crown looks really Sauron-like, at least from what I remember from Lord of the Rings. It's super cool, very futuristic, and looks really nice. My big problem with this head sculpt is it's not the one I want. But for articulation, the head can go back and then forward and swivel and then pivot very nicely. It all looks really good. This King Thanos head actually fits proportionately with this body. It's really good and looks awesome. And it's a little too flashy for the other Thanos Build-A-Figure, but it's at least a better head than what it came with. But the real star of the show here, we all know it, is the Infinity Gauntlet, all gemmed out and ready to rock. It's basically an upscaled sculpt of the previous one, and I do think I like the colors a little bit better here. Although now I'm thinking of Skittles with how shiny they are over here. And the articulation's nice. You get a swivel and then a hinge. Just watch out for this green one over here, and it looks great on the palm too. But what takes this to the moon and beyond, to infinity at least, is this snap hand. I really love how this piece looks. The positioning is excellent. It is a wonderful part of history for Marvel. And the articulation is nice. You can get a swivel over here as well as a down and up, kind of like Italian maybe over here for Thanos. Thanos stands at about, I would say, 7.5 inches tall or so. Here's Thanos next to Captain America and Iron Man, next to Thor and Hulk, and next to Adam Warlock and Silver Surfer. And here they are all side by side, the Build-A-Figure, the Walmart figure, and the Deluxe figure. With my least favorite being the Build-A-Figure, but I'm glad it paved the way for my second favorite, and then my first over here. Aside from that head, this one is the best. Overall, inevitable. The Build-A-Figure Thanos is alright. He's a good figure if you want a modern Thanos and nothing else. He doesn't come with anything. He's kind of bland as a result. The Walmart single pack Thanos is awesome. He's much better than the Build-A-Figure in every way. Different head sculpts, different gauntlet, much better color and paint all around. The newest release of Thanos is much better than the previous two. He's classic, he has some really great articulation as well as sculpt and paint to match. I love the Infinity Gauntlet hand, especially the snapping version. They're both great. My only gripe is the head sculpt. You can't really replace it with any of the other ones because the colors mismatch, and this one just doesn't look that great with his mouth open. At least we have the King Thor head sculpt and that works well for this figure, but I wouldn't mind having a different head sculpt with a different Thanos somewhere down the line. If you're a fan of the Marvel Universe, Marvel Cosmic, or Thanos himself, then I would highly recommend getting any one of these. If you're a fan of the Marvel Universe, Marvel Cosmic, or Thanos himself, then you'll love these figures. They're great. But if I had to pick one, it would be the newest Thanos. Despite the head sculpt, the rest of the figure is incredible. But make no mistake, getting these figures now isn't a snap. So which figure here is your favorite? The Build-A-Figure Thanos, the Walmart Thanos, or the single release Deluxe Thanos? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned.